Today, I'm going to show you a new browser use AI agent to build and automate basically anything. And this is available with a free tool called RuCode inside Visual Studio Code, right? Now, the way this works, for example, let me show you some examples of this morning and how I've used it. So, for example, here, we said go to Claude and have some cheeky SEO banter. And he went over, started typing into Claude directly. You can also see some other examples. So if we go over here and we go to here, you can see we actually got it to start tweeting for us, right? So we said go to Twitter and post a tweet, write a short inspiring quote about AI and post a tweet, no hashtags. And then it just went off and did it. Look at that. Drafted the tweet, ready to go, all right? Now, if you want to learn how to do this, I've got the SOP inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Essentially what you want to do is you want to get Visual Studio Code, and then you're going to go to RuCode, right? So you install RuCode inside the extension section. Then you're going to go to RuCode, and inside here, you're going to select Anthropic. So you're going to be using Anthropic, which is Claude's AI, to build this. And you see how it supports images, computer use, and prompt caching, right? You want to make sure that you have auto approve set up. And there are two ways to set this up. Basically, you can have the AI inside a completely separate Chrome browser where nothing is logged in, or you can actually have it log into a Chrome browser where it has all your logins directly, right? So you can go into Twitter or whatever. If you want to set this up and you want to know, okay, which prompt should I use for which, then you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom SOP. And then if we scroll down here, this is the most important part. We're using the Enable Browser Tool section, right? And this is how we're going to link the computer use, right? So you see how it says browser and computer use there, and then Enable Browser Tool. We're going to use this. Screenshot quality I would keep quite low. I'm just keeping it high because I'm doing a video, but obviously it uses more tokens. So that's the price I'm going to pay for you. But you can see here we've got the setup. And then the local host, you get this set up with the SOP from the AI Profit Boardroom. We'll hit save, we'll hit done, boom shakalaka. Let's get off to the races, right? So, for example, if we say now, using this computer use agent, right? Now you can just browse, you can browse to use whatever. So we're going to go to juliangoldie.com and do a competitor analysis of Julian Goldie. Make sure that you have Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is the latest API key set up from Claude. Then we're going to get it to do this action right here. And it says, I need to perform a competitor analysis. Here's what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to run into this separate browser, right? So this is a browser where it's running in debug mode. It is logged in as me. So you can see I'm logged into WordPress on this website. And it's using this to really scan through the website, scroll through, etc. Right? So you can see a log of what it's doing right here. So I can see Julian Goldie's website. Here's what I need to do. And it'll figure out, number one, when it needs to use the browser use action. So it's not going to use it every time, but only when it has certain tasks that require that. It's smart enough to figure that out. And then I need to check out the services page, right? So it goes to the About Me page, goes to the services, etc. And it's just starts scrolling through my website, right? It can see the page, it can interact with the page, and it can also scrape websites. It can Google stuff. It can go onto YouTube. Like, it's pretty wild what it can do. In fact, I don't really see a limit to it. Now, I'll show you some other use cases in a minute, but let's wait for this task to load. So now it's right, browse use action. Here's what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. And we'll just start going off and doing its magic. It's scary to watch this stuff because it's so powerful and it's too good at what it does, right? So if we open up, now it's scanning through my case studies, having a cheeky gander here, seeing what's popping. The cool thing about this as well is, like, you don't need to be able to code. You don't need any technical expertise to get this set up. Super easy and simple. And it really doesn't take a long time to figure it all out. Like for me, for example, I have no real coding experience, but even I can do this, right? So it's gathering all the information here. It's having a look through the AI automation section, the case studies. It's browsing the user. It's let me check the Elite Circle page as well to see what premium services Julian offers. And it can scrape the web. It can, for example, read your pages. It can do a full background check on any of your competitors. And it is unbelievably easy to use. So it's doing all of this whilst I'm talking. Like, I'm not clicking anything. I'm not doing anything. The other thing I like about this is, like, I can do stuff in a separate Chrome browser. So whilst it's doing that, if I open up this browser and I just go over to Twitter or whatever, I can do that pretty easily. And I don't need to worry about, like, this interacting with the other Chrome browser. So it's still interacting here, but we've got our separate Chrome browser that we can do work in, as well, right? So you can work side by side with your AI agents whilst you're doing this stuff, all right? So you can also stop the task anytime you want, and you can say, okay, summarize the data that you got. So if you ever want to stop it or take control, you can as well. You can also take control of the instance. So for example, I could start navigating through this as well and direct the AI how I want to do things. But you can see here how it's doing a full competitor analysis based on the information it scraped, right? So it's based on my explanation of Julian Goldie, here's a competitor analysis, here's a business overview, core services, the link building, here's how much he charges per link, so it actually knows what we charge, how much we charge, his team, how big his team is, client testimonials, etc., marketing approach, right? So it's even broken down my funnels there and exactly how we get clients. And it's done all of that really quickly and powerful. You don't need any fancy graphics card or anything like that. I'm just running this on an M3 Pro, right? But I don't think, because you're using an API key, because this is not really running, you're not running the AI locally, right? You're just running the coder locally. I don't think there's going to be many issues if you've got like a slightly older computer. And then we've got the full competitor analysis broken down right there based on the images and the content it's scraped, right? So let's do another one right now. And we'll open up a new tab. So I'm just going to click on the plus sign at the top here to open up a new task. And then we'll say, do a Google search for SEO training Japan. And based on that, do an SEO optimized content outline, right? So you can create your own like sort of SEO outline tool and reverse engineer your competitors on Google by using the AI. And also, if you click this AI in the bottom right here, it will actually improve the prompt, right? So it will create something much more comprehensive. So if we hit until now, we've got a much more comprehensive prompt to start understanding and creating the content outline from Google. It's going to start searching Google now. So you can see here, for example, it's typed in SEO training Japan. It's actually found my website ranking #1 for that keyword. And it should just start opening up different pages from the SERPs, analyzing their content, and then reverse engineering that content to figure out, okay, what should we be talking about here as well? Just going to close that. So you can see how it's opening up my competitors, it's analyzing their content, trying to understand it, etc., looking through the SERPs, and using that information to really understand our competitors and create the best outline. Now, this is pretty cheap as well. It's cost 6 cents to do that. And it's gathering more information to figure all this out. And it is really cheap. The other cool thing about this as well is it's quite similar to Cursor and other tools like that, but you don't have to pay for this, right? All you're paying for is the API key, and you can get a free API key as well with Google and OpenRouter as well. So now it's opening up like the people also ask section as well. So you can see it's going through there, looking through the people also ask questions, gathering some relevant questions for the content outline. And then let me try some more searches here. Now, if you ever want to stop this at certain points, right? Let me show you how to do that. So wait for this to load. We can click cancel there. We can override it. And we can say, okay, now based on what you create the SEO content outline. And then because it's done the research, it's looked through a couple of our top ranking competitors. It can use that to create an SEO outline. So you see here how it's creating that file, and it's called the SEO training Japan outline.md. That's actually a text file, like you can see right here, with the outputs from the agent. And it's actually planned out exactly how to create the content, what to write about, some topics, etc. And it's doing that all based on our competitors that is scraped from Google. So it's pretty crazy what it can do and how powerful it is. You might be asking like, okay, can this, for example, all right, we've got the output here. But you might be asking, for example, okay, can this create videos and stuff for you? So that's a really interesting point. So you can actually do a screen share where you just ask the AI to navigate around whatever tool you're talking about on YouTube and then screen share that. The other option that you have is you could actually use this process to then operate something like Descript and a custom GPT. I've got videos on YouTube about that and also inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But you can basically ask the AI to go off, use ChatGPT, create a video, and then using that, plug it into Descript and export it. You could get it to do it that way. I'm not going to do that on this video, but you get the idea. And then we've got the setup right here for the SEO outline. Pretty simple and easy to get started. It's recommended the sections, the content, who the audience is, and then also how to set this up. All right. So you've got a clear hierarchical outline inside the .md file. pretty simple and easy. All right. If we click on start new task now, we can start doing other stuff. Some people are saying this sort of stuff, it feels more powerful than Manus. Yeah, if you check out my video on brew code versus Manus, you can see the key differences. Just search YouTube for that if you want to find the information. But yeah, in many ways, it is more powerful than Manus because you don't have any daily limits as well. And it's coding locally, and you can switch between whatever API key you want. So now we're going to say, all right, do a competitor analysis of Julian Goldie's YouTube channel. Let's see if we can do that. So it's going to open up YouTube, but it's gone to the wrong page here. So now it's going to try a different way. So it's actually going to search YouTube for Julian Goldie. It's opening up a new tab, search YouTube for Julian Goldie, and it should just start going through YouTube and start having a look through what's going on here. Yeah, you can see here it's great. I found Julian's YouTube channel. Here's the information about him. Let's start researching him. Let's start researching all his shorts, etc. And it's giving us a breakdown of the latest video titles plus the views, right? So you can scrape YouTube, you can scrape Google. It's actually found the most popular videos as well. So for example, like this one on DeepSeek that got 2K views. And it's basically like a little research assistant that can interact with the web live, right? But the difference here as well is unlike a human, it's not going to get stuck on the weekends or it's not going to get bogged down in questions. It's just going to figure stuff out. It's very proactive as well. And then it's even looking for some of our competitors as well, as you can see. So it said top SEO AI YouTube channel competitors to Julian Goldie, and then it's found a bunch of options right there. So really fast, really powerful, and incredibly easy to get this set up and running. And now it's going through some different articles, having a scan through what we're doing, etc. Again, you can cancel this at any time as well. All right, so if you don't want it to keep running or you don't want to rack up the tokens or you're in a rush and you're trying to get this done, like you can see on a YouTube video, then we can say, okay, knowing what you know. And this time around, I'm just going to create like a nice little one-page beautiful presentation in HTML that explains everything you know about Julian Goldie based on your research. All right, include real facts, figures, plus make it super modern. All right, so basically what it's done is it scraped the information from the web, and then what we're going to do from here is we're going to code out a page locally on our laptop based on that information and the number of views and everything else that it's done right here, plus all the titles. And now you can see it's beginning to code out the HTML. All right, so it's connected to the internet. It can interact with the internet. It can log into accounts and do different stuff. It can do really amazing research tasks. It can read pages. It can interact with pages, and it can code locally. Plus, once it's actually finished coding out this HTML file, what it's going to do is it's going to open that up in a browser as well so that we can preview it and take a look at the content. Now, some people might be asking, okay, can you run this with a different API key? So, for example, could you set up like a computer use local API and then use that inside here? So if we go inside the API provider, we can actually select Olama, and Olama allows you to run APIs locally, and then you could configure this so that it's using your AI from Olama, right? So it's broken that down right here, as you can see. So it's figured out, okay, this is how many subscribers Julian Goldie has. Here's a competitor analysis. Here's the experience. Here's what he focuses on. Here's his top video and how many views it got, plus a title, plus an overview of what he does, the top content that he talks about. And if we go back now to Visual Studio Code, it's done its magic. All right. It's even showing us a preview of what the page looks like, scrolling through it, etc. And that whole competitor analysis as well, this is a really interesting thing, is it costs us 40 cents, right? But if you paid for a really in-depth competitor analysis with a nice presentation from a virtual assistant, it's going to cost you maybe minimum $10. But if you want it done properly, maybe like $100 or $200 or $500. And so the arbitrage between using an AI to do these tasks versus getting a human to do it is massive, right? Like you could sell this as a service. Like you could list a Fiverr gig and say, right, I'm going to do competitive research and I'll create you a beautifully designed presentation based on that, right? And then you just go off and get something like root code to do it on autopilot whilst you watch Netflix, whatever you want, right? Like you could sell all the stuff that you do inside root code with this computer use agent, you could easily sell as a service. I don't think that would be an issue. at all. We could also do other stuff as well. So if we open up a new tab here, and we'll say, okay, now use Ahrefs to find low competition keywords for a dentist. The other cool thing about this is you don't need to train the AI, right? So if you, for example, had a human working for you, you'd have to quality control the work, check they're doing it properly, check in with them, manage them, give them emotional support as well, which is like genuinely, that is quite a draining thing as a manager. And then you'd have to train it, you'd have to set up good SOPs, etc. Whereas with this sort of AI, you can say, just go off and do this, mate. I don't want to train you. I don't want to coach you on the weekends. I don't want to quality control you and everything else. And it'll actually just go off and do it, like you can see, right? And it will go off and do it in the background. Like you don't even have to be there in its presence to know that the job is being done. So it's pretty scary what this can do because it's so powerful. And it's so far advanced in such a short space of time. Bear in mind, I think about a year ago, computer use came out. And it wasn't that good. It might have even been longer ago than that. Whereas now, this is well and truly getting towards something that's better than a human. If I asked the average Joe to just go off and do some Ahrefs keyword research, he wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Whereas the AI, it knew exactly what we're talking about, what we need to do, and how we need to do it. It just gets on with the job, right? No messing around. No taking Sundays off. And you can see now it's come back to us with the keywords. So it's given us a list of relevant keywords right here. And it's searching for lower keyword difficulty stuff, right? So it's actually going to search for KD. And then it's found a bunch of KD0 keywords right here for SEO, right? And these are all like genuine keywords we could actually use. So you get the point. Like it's super powerful. It's unbelievably easy to use. It works autonomously. It doesn't require training. And it's pretty cheap compared to using an actual real person. The other thing as well, like, for example, if you're doing a keyword research report like this for someone, we've charged in the past like $500, $250 for keyword research reports, but now you can automate them for the space of 20 cents, like you can see, directly inside Rucode, and it will probably do as good, if not better, a job than most SEO agencies, right? The other thing to note here is, and this is another scary thing, especially for employees, is an AI agent, it doesn't require a employment contract. And it also doesn't require any sort of rights. It doesn't take days off. It doesn't get sick. It doesn't get stopped. You could open up like 5 different windows and have different AI agents doing all sorts of different stuff, and it could just keep going, right? Whereas obviously a human never could do that, and you would never expect a human to be able to do that. But you get the point. And then you've got a really good report right here. This is written down in markup. So if we go back to, we're going to go over to markdown livepreview.com, we'll paste in that, and we've got the report right there ready to go. So this is the research report from the AI agent, and we asked it to find low competition keywords for dentists. It actually did that. For example, it's found a bunch of KD0s right there, very low difficulty, medium difficulty, and analysis and recommendations, right? So it's made it super actionable as well. It's like, dentist near me, it's a little bit competitive, but here's what you want to go for. It's giving us some long tail stuff and also some content strategy recommendations. It's a pretty complex task as well. If you were trying to do this yourself, it's probably going to take about 30 minutes to 1 hour, whereas now we can just get it done instantly. The same, for example, with coding, right? Coding would take you years, quite a complex task, but you can mock up like a SaaS tool in the space of 30 minutes or 60 minutes inside Rucode, and you don't need to learn code or anything like that. So it's not that simple. Yeah. One final one that I'll show you for social media management. If we say, okay, go to Twitter and draft a tweet that's a short, inspiring quote about AI, no need to post it. All right. It's going to figure out what to do. And then it's just going to go off and do it. So let's see what it does next. See if it figures it out. So it's posting for my AI SEO Mastery account, which is a totally separate account that I just use for test purposes. And it's typed in the quote, as you can see. It said, the most powerful AI isn't the one that thinks like a human, but the one that helps humans think better. Pretty powerful quote, to be fair. If we hit post like boom shakalaka, we've got it done. You can see the tweet going live right there. Okay? And that is a nice little tweet. Probably better than most of the trash out there. So you get the point. Like, it can do really complex tasks. It can build SaaS tools, games, apps, websites. It can tweet for you. It can use SaaS tools for you directly. It can automate stuff. It doesn't take weekends off, and it's really easy to use. You just like go off and do that. Boom. Let's go off and do that. And it costs you 7 cents to do that. What would a social media agency charge you? Thousands of dollars per month, and you can just post all day for 7 cents per tweet. It's ridiculous. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get the SOP for setting all of this stuff up, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. This is an amazing community that comes with 508 members, all dedicated to making more money and saving time with AI. Like you can see, prices going up at the end of the month, so make sure you sign up now before prices go up. Inside here, you get all my best automations for email, content automation, social media and video, AI agents and workflows, SEO automations, NA10 templates and workflows, and all my best SOPs, including the SOP for setting up Recode, as you can see right here. Additionally, inside the community, you can post any questions you have, and we're constantly updating this, like you can see right here. All these updates went just over the last few days, and we're pretty much updating this every single day. And also, we run weekly Q&A calls. You can jump on the Q&A calls, ask us any questions you have. And if you can't make the Q&A calls, it's okay. You can just watch back the Q&A call recordings right here. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure you get that before prices go up. And additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month, feel free to get that. Link in the comments and the description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to this, and also generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. And you'll basically get a custom tailored SEO game plan so you can generate more lead sales and profits from your website. Plus, you'll be able to ask any questions you have, and you'll learn the best SEO strategies to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments and the description.